So, I know you're expecting probably another entertaining video. Unfortunately, we need to go and get people to write into our mayor and council. Every environmental group, it appears, seems to think that all of a sudden the only thing that's going to save the world is the Beeline in West Vancouver, and I can assure you it is not. Just so that you know, this video was shot. I think it takes about 8 minutes to go one way and about 6 to go the other. This is on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. It's just to demonstrate the fact that there's no need for a Beeline to have any, well, we don't want the Beeline anyway, but how invalid it is that we go and need to have our bus lanes. Anyways, please write to Mayor and Council. Got to remember, the last election, our mayor won by 20 votes, only 20 votes. So you need to, please, I spent hours and hours gathering data, talking to people, going to council meetings, going to meetings. Please just take 5 minutes and write to Mayor and Council, even if it was one sentence that says the Beeline must stop at Park Royal. That's all I really need. But we need to get as many people as possible. I'd love it if this video were to go and reach as many people as possible and people would just write to Mayor and Council and tell them that they oppose to the Beeline. By the way, that bus there, the 257, had 3 people in it. Anyways, I'm just going to read a letter that was put into the North Shore News today by someone who paid money to go and put this in. It was not paid for by Stop the Road Closures or myself. This was paid for by a concerned West Vancouver resident. It's on page 19 of the North Shore News today, and I'm going to read this out to you. It seems no sense I should have written this letter to you, as I am supposed to be a green according to my environmental background, and that the Beeline meets our nationwide hot picks in general respect on housing affordability, climate change, emission control, and sustainable development for our future generation. However, from years of experience I researched on Kyoto Protocol, I learned that public transit has to be punctual, fast, cheap, and convenient to make people become adaptable to it. Among them, convenience is most crucial to West Vancouver because of its demography, topography, and wealthiness. To make this happen, building parkades close to bus terminus is an option. Building up a strategic transportation plan to connect with the northbound is another. Unfortunately, we are not provided with either, at least not for now. We have instead is this Beeline plan with the cost of $12 million from TransLink and the priceless right-of-way from all of West Vancouver people. But the return is disappointment by a single bus line covering a small portion of West Vancouver. Besides, we have not taken into account the frequency we go to North Vancouver each month. The majority of West Vancouver residents are facing huge sacrifice to visitors, employees living elsewhere, and a small amount of bus users living in our community. For this reason, the Beeline is less convincing and has caused excessive oppositions from our community. It is imaginable that this Beeline plan were in place someday, it would be a punishment instead of a benefit. Forcing people to change their car driving behavior and causing more traffic gridlock is a wrong and brutal way to attain the sustainable development objective. Every penny counts for city development. I understand Council's concerns and effort of taking advantage of $12 million in improving our public transit system. As a former researcher specialized in climate change, I sincerely hope a comprehensive transportation plan can come together with the Beeline. Otherwise, it seems more pragmatic to let the Beeline stop at Park Royal instead of going further into Dunderave. With the downward surge from the provincial government, we, West Vancouver residents, deserve more encouragement than punishment. Anyways, if you go to the North Shore News, you'll be able to go and see that story. Bottom line is, if anyone is still listening, which I'm sure they're not, but if you are still listening, again, please, I implore you to write to our mayor and council, go and tell them that the Beeline needs to stop at Park Royal. We do not need it to go past Park Royal at all. There's no reason for it. We went and counted all the numbers on buses the other day. Majority of the buses that go by are less than half empty, so that you know during the entire day of observing buses, the only buses were busy was the one that was arriving, bringing students to West Vancouver High School at around 8:30. There were then 2 very busy buses around 3:30 when the West Van students left school, and those were the only full buses that were in the Ambleside Dunderave corridor other than the 257. And again, the Horseshoe Bay Express bus has no benefit whatsoever from the B line, and therefore of no benefit or no reasoning to have a B line. Also, the 257 buses need to go and meet the ferries, because we had a number of times where a 257 bus would come by with no one in it, and 30 minutes later the 250 bus from Horseshoe Bay would come by, and it was jam-packed, completely and utterly full, and these would be ferry passengers, and that express bus missed them. So there needs to be some fundamental big changes in our transportation system, but the B line going past Park Royal is not part of it. When I originally started Stop the Road closures in early December, the goal was just to go and get rid of the bus lanes and the parking loss. But as we looked into this further, the worse and worse it got, and there is no justification of ridership for the B line to go past Park Royal, and really there's no justification in time savings. We're looking at a section of the route that would probably maybe save a passenger a few minutes, and a couple of minutes to go and have articulated buses coming through our community really doesn't work. You could probably go and turn this off now, but this continues to Park Royal. Again, it really shows that there's no need for bus lanes whatsoever in Ambleside or Dunderave. What we need to do is have ourselves some better traffic lights. We need to go and have some more community shuttles, especially going north and south up and down the hills. And I really hope that you can come to the council meeting on Monday, support Stop the Road closures, support myself, and make our mayor and council realize that what they really have to do is say no to the B line going past Park Royal, and let's go and actually go and find some proper transportation solutions for West Vancouver, ones that work for all of us. Thank you ever so much. If anyone that is still listening, if you have, then maybe put a smiley face or something. It would be nice to know someone saw it this far through. Cheers.